Welcome to the podcast of all podcasts. Too much?
I think it's okay.
It's been a long time coming for this to happen.
It's about damn time.
It's about damn time. In a minute, Amanita. We shouldn't be singing that song. But I'm so excited to actually be here and having this conversation with everybody out there. And I am joined by a very special guest today. My first guest ever. Unfortunate for me. Everybody, Emelia.
It's a fortunate thing.
No, it's a fortunate. I'm blessed, or am I blessed?
You're blessed, my
Blessed.
child.
I receive. Okay, so today is a really exciting day because we are talking all things relationships, all things growing up, all things womanhood, and above all things Zambian.
Being a Zambian woman.
Girl,
In 2023.
Are you ready to get into this?
Yeah, well.
The first thing I want to talk about actually is, let's start this on a serious note, because that's for jokes. So,
Well, there's always a silver lining in the joke.
yes. So a few months ago, I used to be sick. So I used to have like all these period cramps. I couldn't sleep. Sometimes I'd put like these same cushions you're seeing on the floor.
Yeah.
And then I'd lie over them just so that I could sleep.
Yeah.
I was relying on painkillers, and my mom is like, you need to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
So I actually went to the hospital, and for the first time, I had to do an ultrasound scan. And I was so nervous. I'm like, what if I'm pregnant? And then I'm like,
Pregnancy was your biggest worry.
Girl, I'm like, it might be a holy conception.
It came by the Holy Spirit.
Girl, my first thought was, what if I'm pregnant? And then I asked the hospital, I'm like, can you run a pregnancy test as well? They're like, oh, no problem. And by the time I wasn't even seeing anybody.
So why were you doing a test when you're not seeing someone? When you're not, okay, obviously, if you're not seeing someone, you can always have coitus. But why were you doing a test?
Well,
You
first
thought
of all,
it was one of the, I thought, I didn't know that I was pregnant kind of thing.
I thought I didn't know I was pregnant, one. And then the second thing is, let me be, don't even laugh at me. I had also missed my period. I've never missed a period in my life.
Makes sense.
So I'm like, I might be with child. So when I went to the hospital, I'm like, I'm feeling these symptoms with my periods and my what?
Yeah.
And I'm like failing to breathe. And then the woman at the hospital is like, okay, we'll do the pregnancy test and we'll do an ultrasound for you.
Yeah.
And then they did all these things to me. And then this woman was there now putting gel on my stomach.
Or the cold one.
Girl, I was like, oh my gosh. And then I'm on the bed. I'm like, is it moving?
No.
She's like, what's moving? I'm like,
You did not.
this is a serious story. And then she was like, okay, no problem. Go to the results. And I was at a private hospital. Those results just take like 5 minutes. They even email each other. I don't even know what they do. You don't even have to wait for a paper, like what we do when we go Kujakunang. So I'm there now waiting, and then they tell me, they're like, no. My doctor goes, oh, do you know that you've got cysts and fibroids? And I'm like, pardon? She's like, you've got cysts and fibroids. The cyst is like 5 centimeters by 5 centimeters.
Yeah.
And the fibroids are also on the left side. That's why you get pain when you're
Outside
having
the
your period.
uterus?
Girl, I don't even know where the uterus is at this moment. I'm just thinking, I'm like, it's over.
Finish.
Naenda.
And then I think that comes up as because fibroids, like the way it's put out there, it's like a life and death kind of like.
You know, when we were younger, we would hear about family members who had fibroids and wouldn't even be allowed to talk about them.
Exactly.
Because it was taboo. Like talking about a woman's sexual reproductive system was taboo.
Periods.
And there I was. Now, the other thing I was saying, I'm like, am I able to even talk about this to my family, to tell them that, listen, your girl got cysts and fibroids? And then now, this is now where it's leading into this podcast. Then my doctor says, you know what? It's okay. There's medication that can help shrink them. You don't have to go into an operation.
When they're small, yeah.
Exactly, you're just fine. So now I'm there in the doctor's office. Let me not drop my drink, girl. Holding my belly like this. And then she's like, why are you holding your stomach? I'm like, I don't know. And then she says, but the best thing about it is that I can still be able to have children. But I just have to make sure that I'm careful. I drink the right medication and blah, blah, blah. And she asked me, do you have children? I'm like, no, I don't. And then she goes, you better start thinking about it or working on it.
Oh, yeah.
This brings us to the topic of discussion today. Relationships.
What is it called? No, what do we say when you say a woman's. I'm looking for the word. I can't.
A woman's
remember it.
what?
When they say in society, like a man can still impregnate someone, and your clock,
Exactly.
biological clock. That's the word.
Yeah, yo, I'm glad you brought that up.
The biological
because
clock.
for the first time in my life at 34, I
You
heard my
thought-
biological clock start ticking. And I told myself when I was young, I'm like, I'm going to only have children. I'll give myself up to 35. And if I don't have children by 35, it's over.
Is it over?
And now the doctor is telling me, like, girl, you better have them children. I'm like, why are you rushing my decision?
Because of the health complications. That
Exactly. But then, like, I want the privilege to do what I want when I want and to have those children at my own time.
But you can't.
I don't have that privilege. But then, I don't have that privilege. It's because of relationships as well. What do you think about relationships? Let's just say relationships in Zambia or relationships in general. Let's start there.
Relationships in Zambia.
Why are you laughing?
Because, girl, I've been through it.
We have a fun for.
I've been through it.
Yeah.
I've been to hell and back. If there's a hell, I've been there and come back. And I'm in a serious relationship right now. But before that, even with the man that I'm dating right now, like when the time that he met me, I didn't want to get into another relationship because the one that I had prior, and I've done a story time before on that, what I had was very traumatic because this guy was with 4 other girls.
Girl, wait.
And a baby mama and me. It's like,
so why were you a choir?
Man.
We are the choir.
We are the children.
Okay, so tell me about this choir girl. Uh-huh.
So now that's what happened, and that's how we ended up breaking up. So my current man met me when I just got out of a relationship with that other guy. Uh-huh. So I just said, you know what? I think relationships are not for me because why should I be meeting? It's like I was meeting the same spirit in different bodies.
Ooh, facts.
And it got to that point where I was realizing, and when I put like my exes back to back, I was literally dating the same person, just in different men.
I think it goes back to a conversation we had prior about patterns and relationships.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody has a pattern. We just don't know it. It's like those things. It's like, I don't even know what word I can use in English. You just don't know that you're doing something the same way over and over again.
Yeah. So I looked at, like, I said, no, this can't be happening. Like, the same things can't be happening in every relationship where I'm cheated on and this guy does this and that. It's like, I'm dating the same spirit in different people. And I also had my own flaws. And it was, when you do a self-introspection is important. But we avoid doing that because we don't want to look at our flaws and what we do that happens to be the problem in the relationship, because we can't say the man is the only person that. I think women like putting the blame solely on the man, but there are also certain things that you do that is a problem. So I literally had to write this shit down. Like, I wrote this side, okay, these are my pros and these are my cons as a person.
Yeah.
And then these are the men that I've been with, and these are I needed to find a common denominator. And I said, you know what? While I'm doing that, I'm not getting into another relationship.
Until you work on yourself.
Exactly. But then, this nigga,
He just popped
out
up.
of nowhere. And he was doing the right things. And he knew the said, I was a hoe, baby.
Why are you hitting the microphone?
I was.
Don't hit it because of your whole behavior.
I was in that stage, and he knew.
It was called the hotation. That's what they call it.
Yes, man. I was in the hotation phase, and he knew that, but he still liked me regardless. And I remember the first time, and he still talks about it up to now. And he said, "I love you." I said, "Thank you." I was like, "Thank you, baby."
Because you were not ready for it.
I wasn't ready. And I think he was taken back and I think he was hurt.
Yeah.
Because for him, he expected me, like, I don't think it's something that is generally happens when someone tells you they love you and then say thank you. We sometimes, even when we don't love someone, we say, I love you too. But then our sex is like, I'm not going to be a liar anymore.
But maybe it's because, even as women, we've reached a stage where we're always so quick to change ourselves to accommodate the feelings of men.
Yes.
That even in such a situation, I would have said, oh, I love you too. Then I'd be like,
I just said no. I said, and then it's like, what? I said, I can't tell you I love you too when I don't. And honestly speaking, in that moment, I didn't.
you were not just there.
Yeah, I wasn't there, and I wasn't in the mindset that I want to get into another relationship. And he really liked me more than I liked him. And he obviously fell in love.
Yeah.
And I wasn't. I liked him,
Yeah.
but not to the extent of wanting to get in a relationship with him. So anyway, fast forward, we got
Together.
Years later,
Yeah.
we're still together. And it's not an easy thing. And I think a lot of people think that it is, but it's not. Because love alone is never enough in a relationship.
Yeah.
Love alone is never enough. There's a whole, like, you remember, like earlier on I told you, like, a relationship is like a cake.
Yeah.
You have all those of the different ingredients to make one thing, and you need them.
Yeah.
It just can't be sustained on one thing. Just can't be sustained on maybe sex. It just can't be sustained because you love someone.
Yeah.
No, because there are a lot of things. And me being a very vocal person about certain things, and he's not. So it was a different kind of relationship for him as well.
Yeah.
But
like, wait, you're going too far.
Oh yeah, I think I've derailed.
You,
I actually have derailed.
Let us go back.
I have derailed.
I think the first question I want to ask is, what do you think are some of the problems that women of a certain age in Zambia face when it comes to relationships? I think let's break that down.
Like when we look at the biological clock, or just
biological, cultural, societal, like everything. I feel like, for me, like personally, like I don't like it when I go places and then people be like, oh, you're so smart. You look like you've got your stuff together. Why are you single? I'm like,
yeah, like,
do you think I want to be single? You think that I just wake up in the morning, I'm like, yes, I want to be single. There's, for me, like,
there's a certain standard.
There's a standard that we're looking for, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that a lot of women have standards and that's the reason why we've got a like high number of single women now?
I think women now know their value. I know some men are going to frown on this, saying, hey, someone who knows their value. Yes, I'm going to have a standard because I believe there's always a man for everyone.
Exactly. Yeah.
And there are times that you lower your standard just to accommodate the other person because all society says, no, by a certain age, you have to get married. By a certain age, you have to have kids. I'm 31.
Yeah.
And me saying this age, and the funny thing is that 2 years ago, I never even wanted to tell people my age.
Why? Yeah, because back then,
because now they'll be looking at me like I'm old.
Yeah.
Like, why aren't you getting married?
You're 31. Emelia, I'm 35.
Exactly. And I just didn't want to say anything. But then when I hit 30, I said, bruh, you're not getting any younger. And you're this age. But are you pressured into getting into a relationship that will lead to a marriage? No. Because I feel like this is something, marriage is it's a big thing. It's not like a relationship that you can just leave anyhow and say, oh, okay, I'm done, we're over. No. Yeah. Because now we're bringing the traditional aspect of things. You have, even if you fight with your mans, you have to sit and sort it out. Because you just can't go to your mother's house.
Because like for me, when I reach this age, I'm just tired of people always calling us, especially on social media, bitter old women who have failed to find
if you're not married, you're bitter.
We're sad, we're miserable. I'm always here with a cat, stroking that cat. Like, this is me at night every night.
Which cat?
This is what they... Girl, what do you mean which cat? Sips. But my point is,
I get your point.
Is that they're always so quick to label us as bitter old women when they themselves don't realize that women are literally scrapping the bottom of the barrel because the standards have been set so low.
They settled.
It's difficult for us to find. Like, we're looking for the bare minimum. At one point, you even start looking for a man who just has a pulse. Like, as long as it's warm and it's breathing, Lord Jesus, give it to me.
Whatever package it comes in.
Yeah,
Like, I'm okay. But I think, like I said, I think women, like especially the ones that are married. This is from my observation. I'm not saying every woman that is married. For some women that are married, I feel like half the time they are hating on women that are single, and they always have that card when you're having an argument and the thing is that when I'm having a dialogue with someone or they're disagreeing and we're disagreeing to agree, you bring in the thing, oh no, because she's not married, that's why she's like this. Like, I feel like they project. Because, listen, half of those women, for some men or some women, they are only married because they fit the, what is it? Marriage.
The expectations of society, like you have a certain look.
They are the marriage material.
Proverbs 31, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, baby.
Yeah.
And their man goes out and wants a side chick on the side who is the total opposite of that woman, because that's the woman that he wants to be with.
Yeah.
But then he's a coward as well, because he can't be with that woman because society will look at him in a different light, or maybe he can't even take that woman to social functions because she's not the Proverbs 31 woman.
Yeah.
And now their wives start projecting and start hating on everyone that is their husband's type.
But why is it that, like we said, why is it that men look for one type of woman to marry and then they go for another type to like play around with, to mess around with? Because I'm saying that as somebody who is, if you haven't noticed, I'm plus size. Like, as somebody who is plus size, right?
Yeah.
I get this a lot where some of the men who are always after me are men who are with women who I would call like supermodels, you know?
The Naomi Campbell type of...
Naomi, they're walking there, they're strutting, they're size 4, size 0.
Yeah.
Me, my size 4 is my shoe. Not even my bra size. But then you notice that the kind of women that they're with and the kind of woman that at first they used to make it look bad on women. They would call that women who look like me or act like me are easy. You know what I mean? They used to make us look like we're loose, or because of our appearances, they'll judge it. But then it's because of also like even our open minds and our ideologies and what we'd like to see that we actually agree with them.
Yeah.
Because, girl, there's some people in marriages who can't even have conversations with their spouses.
That's the thing. Like, if I am to get married, my man is my friend.
Yeah.
Because if I can't have simple conversations such as sex, like say, hey, babe, me, I like it when you do this and this and this and this and this. Oh, no, babe, I like it. Then what are we doing? It's just for reproduction, and so that because my biological clock is ticking? Like...
Speaking of biological clocks...
Like... And that's the thing. It's like all these things that women do is wrapped around that. First of all, society standards, the traditional Zambian traditional standards, and the biological clock. So it's like it's linked into one, and you're supposed to have a certain. When you're 25, you're supposed to be married by then, have children, and that in turn, a lot of women lose their individuality when they're in these relationships and more the marriages. They only leave for the man because we are raised in a way that is only to take care of a man.
Yeah.
The traditional marriage, the teachings that happened before marriage, it's everything centered around a man. Yeah. And that's why I in some way...
Hold on, Emelia. Let me talk to... Okay. No.
Okay.
It's not... It's a conversation. It's not an interview.
I get carried away.
Let's take it back.
Yes, ma'am.
Where are we taking it back to now?
Where are we taking it back to? Biological cloak.
Let's take it back to biological clocks. Yes. No, we're talking about something else.
What were you talking about? It was a biological clock, man. And we're talking about the standards that society has about women.
Yes.
And looking at women and when you're supposed to get married, and they have a standard for you. They marry someone else, but they go and have a side chick who's because opposite.
Like back in the day we used to look at men who have like side chicks. Usually it used to be like older men. So they used to call them, that's when the word sugar daddies came back. Remember, like they'll be like, oh, you see that woman, she's dating a sugar daddy.
Yeah.
But then now they've even changed the name from sugar daddies, they've changed it to blessers. They've romanticized it, first of all, and made it seem like it's cooler. And the worst part though is that blessers and sugar daddies are becoming younger and younger. You don't have to wait for 45 to have a midlife crisis and start fooling around and making an idiot of your wife all across Lusaka. You start at as early as 27, 28. That's when they start getting into it. So like, for me, I'm like, but how come these men are unable to actually share their deepest fantasies and desires with their own spouses, but they have to run around. Because what?
They're never friends to begin with.
They're never friends.
It's just for marriage purposes and reproducing.
Do you think that they actually go fishing for women who they think will be like, oh, this one is perfect?
And I think they also look for people that they can control, like timid women.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of men think I'm a loud mouth.
Yeah.
Because I express myself. And I don't think that's going to change. And my man doesn't look at me that way. That's all that matters.
Yeah. But you know the worst thing is, though, the worst thing I've discovered is that these 20-something-year-old men, I think they're doing something right compared to our generation of men. I feel like these ones are more liberal with their thinking. And I think they're actually getting more freedoms than our current generation.
Yeah.
Because they're actually giving the opportunity to... They're actually like... What's my point? They're actually able to have conversations with their spouses, with their girlfriends, and their partners. And like, unlike us, where we're even taught, like, just to communicate with your man, you need to wear certain beads.
Red for danger.
Red, the period has started.
Mother Flow is in the building.
Mother Flow. Do not enter.
Okay.
Bro, would you be able? You're just wearing beads today.
I would be a fool and laugh like this. But I can't even kill a chicken.
How are you going to go through your traditional cultural things?
Whoever is going to kill the chicken, I don't know who it is.
Hello, you know what? They even used that you have to kill the chicken with your bums.
Wait, what?
Bruh, you sit on that picker. Oh, Choshi.
Wait.
Yes. Back in the day, I don't know, it still happens in other areas. Trust. I am not a researcher. I'm not an historian. But from my little humble beginnings, I know that happens. Like, you need to kill a chicken or you need to kill it with your bums.
Okay, the bum part I didn't know. I know the killing part. They literally compare it to the removing of the feathers.
To what?
Shaving, baby.
I'm never eating chicken again.
It's compared to that. So that's why when you're plucking the feathers, you're not supposed to remove the skin. That's like how you would.
Girl, even I know that all you have to do is dip it in water which is not too hot.
Yes, but then it is still supposed... You know, sometimes when you put like in really hot water... It
shivers.
Yes, so that's not supposed to happen because that is a literal representation of pubic.
Let's go back to why I'm single. Because I think...
I'm single. Do you know that I'm single?
Like,
why are you single?
Why am I single? I think for me, I've never felt that I fit into a certain box, and I want to be in a relationship where I'm expressive and I'm myself 100%. And I have a lot of crazy thoughts. I have a lot of things I want to do.
You don't make yourself small to accommodate the other person.
I don't. But like, there are times when I've been in relationships, even people would be shocked, where I actually just belittle myself, really. I feel like I
try and make it work.
Girl, because you know what I've also noticed, like even people I've seen, even friends who are always talking like me, loud mouths and what. Then they get into a relationship which might actually be serious, and then they start changing also. All of a sudden they're quieter around their man. You know what I mean? They take a certain demeanor that I don't understand.
I would literally die.
Girl, let me tell you something. I have been that friend.
No, I have been that person as well.
I am friend. I have done that before. I have made myself so small. I have not communicated my needs in a relationship. I have not even admitted like whatever you are doing is not what you think you're doing. I've kept it to myself. I've invested in toys.
Courtesy Mons.
I have courtesy Mons, you know. I've been a good girl, good black girl.
I think a lot of women have been through that, and some are actually still.
Yeah. And for me, I just feel bad that there was this one person I really liked, and then like it was going well, and then I feel like submission is earned, right?
If you love me right.
Exactly. And I felt like I was in a safe space where I could just be like, I'm gonna take care of this person, I'm gonna treat him right, I'm gonna cook him 3-course dinners every night.
Labston person.
And then he had the audacity to tell everybody, to tell me to my face. He had the audacity to tell me to my face that you look like a strong black feminist, but in private you're just another submissive woman. And I'm like, boy, if you don't realize or recognize the privilege in your presence, you don't deserve this.
I don't understand
That hurts. How dare you?
Like men who belittle someone that they're with. I was just telling these guys, like I say, I want like a setup like this stuff, right? So like when I started like my makeup, I didn't have the fancy lights that I have, like the umbrellas and whatnot, or the ring light. My boyfriend got like that lamp over there and made like a DIY softbox with foil paper inside with card boxes, and he got like a shower curtain as a diffuser.
Yeah.
And because he wanted me to do what I loved doing, and he doesn't have a problem with me expressing myself because he knows this is me. I won't make myself small to accommodate another person.
Exactly.
Because I've done that with my exes before, and I'm not going to lie and say I haven't. No. There's a man that I literally, the last one before this one, I made a literally fucking matebeto for him.
Wait, you made a matebeto?
Girl,
how?
let me tell you what happened.
Wait, you made a matebeto for a man?
No, it's not really a matebeto.
Why were you making a matebeto for a person?
Bruh, I cooked for him. It wasn't like I was...
I thought you called your folks and everybody.
No. I cooked for him, but literally like different dishes.
Oh.
Like bush meat, Versace.
I've done that.
What? I even bought you. And then, when mom asked me, when mom asked me where I was taking those things, I said, at work.
Oh
at work, they've said, bring a dish. A dish and a dish.
Yo, the things we do.
Mom, I'm sorry, but I was cooking for a nigga that day.
Emelia, I was cooking Alfredos, straggonos, lasagnas,
pasta and lobster.
Shit, we don't even eat in my own house. I'm like up here Googling this stuff and cooking for this person. Why do we do this to us?
Man, like I've literally done that, and this nigga still went to cheat. For someone who was doing the bare minimum.
They even cheat on me. They just told me we are the world. Like, bruh.
We are the world.
I'm here Googling 3 types of cheeses to feed you.
Gorgonzola.
Hello, you know what? But you know
Parmesan.
what? But you know what my lesson is also? When I was younger, I used to date men because of potential. Because I believe that men can grow into their potential and get better. But girl, once I crossed the 27-year mark, I started telling myself, even energy changes. I might not be good in physics, but I know that there's kinetic energy, there's potential energy. But like, if you're in the same space for a long time, I have been in relationships where I've legitimately just broken up with somebody because after 8 months, I've assessed where we were, and I've recognized that it's not going to go to where I want to be in the next 2-3 years.
And also, I think it's important to have such conversations, like when it comes to like how, when you ask someone, how do you see them in the next 1-2 years?
Yeah.
And if their answers are, I am, not our or we, then he doesn't see you in your future.
No, even those women say, like, I don't know.
Yeah, and he doesn't see you in your future. And also, the other aspect that people, I think, a lot don't talk about is finances in a relationship.
Yeah.
And you're not going to have a penguin person in a relationship but expect them to change when you're married. It's not possible.
But okay, then the other thing I want us to talk about is, I personally feel that the older we get, I'm not saying that I'm successful, but the more comfortable you become, you realize that looking for men is difficult because men, I feel like men who could be at my level are looking for women who are younger than me. I mean, I don't blame them. It's their preference, right? But for me, the problem now comes that there are now those people who are actually just opportunists who are trying to be with me because they think I'm over 30, I'm desperate to be in a relationship. I'm desperate for a man. I will settle for anybody and anything that has something between their legs. When it's actually... Why are you rolling your eyes?
They have 3 things.
They have what 3 things? What are the 3 things?
Proceed.
Anyway, so like for me, I'm like... I know I'm alone. I don't think I'm lonely, and I'm not desperate. And I'm just tired of being in relationships also as a woman where I feel like I'm carrying the weight. You know, there are some people who are so lucky they've got shame. Even me, I want a partner who gives. They're always in these relationships.
Yeah, a relationship with ease.
Where they're being given and, you know, they're being taken care of. But like for me, I feel like it's been quite difficult to find that. And I always overcompensate in my relationships. And it ends up like going out. When I leave a relationship, I still have those bad manners that I carry into the rest. Sometimes even somebody doesn't want anything, you end up offering your own things.
I think it still goes back to what I was saying. Like, when you take it back, like when you go back to the drawing board, are you dating the same spirit in different bodies? Like, what have you, like when you compare all the people that you've been with, like long-term relationships, what's something that's the same with all these individuals?
Poverty.
And what
listen. Sorry,
because
ma'am.
they say you attract who you are.
Girl, no. Listen, poverty back to sender. But like the poverty vibes me, they follow me, shame. Like I try to fight them.
Like, do you attract broken people?
Oh, and that's another thing. I feel like I am an attractor of broken people.
A magnet.
I have been with people who have just come to get healed with me. And once they get my energy and they're healed, they leave.
Energy
and then
vampires.
they leave me like that.
Like, personally, I know I'm a healer. Yeah. And I know half of the people that I have been in relationships with, even just situationships or flings and whatnot, half of them are broken people.
Yeah.
But then I've come to a point where I need to put myself first.
Yeah.
And that is, I'm a Pisces, so that is very difficult for me to do. But I have to, because there are certain people that will just come and just take. Take without giving back. Like, I can't continue pouring from an empty cup. Like the other day, someone asked me, because like she was asking me about something like her dreams and what. Randomly, and because I get people like that, and then she explained her situation and we talked about it and whatnot. So and then she's like, oh, your ability to give and whatnot, and then she asked me like, but then you help so many people. How can we help you?
Yeah,
I didn't know what to answer.
And you know, I like that because nobody in relationships usually ever asks me if I need something or if I need to be helped or if they...
Yeah.
And you know what the worst thing about it is when you reach this end and this age and you are met with a lot of broken individuals. Yeah. The bare minimum is going to look like an ultimate prize. This man is just going to come and buy you breakfast. And you're like...
with bread and eggs.
Take it.
And milk.
Take it.
You know?
Take it.
It's something that I have learned to do.
Yeah.
Is I need to put myself first before everyone else.
Yeah.
And sometimes I need to be selfish. It's necessary.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what, like when you're older, that's the thing that is, we do most of the time. Like we tend to put everyone else before us.
Exactly.
And when it comes to relationships, we do the same thing because we feel like we need to overly compensate because, you know, we're getting older and then they're telling you need to get married, you need to have kids. Yeah. And you feel like, okay, I need to do this and this. And I'm not doing that anymore. Yeah. I'm a recovering people pleaser, in short. And that extends to my relationships, to my friendships, and everyone else around me. Because I've always been the giver and never really the receiver in most things. And it's not when you say giving, it's not only about finances, money, and it's your energy.
It's your energy, yeah.
And it's so draining sometimes and people don't get that. Yeah. But when I'm not okay, like now, and I think this happened when I lost my aunt, I realized that life is too short for me to live on other people's terms than my own. Yeah. And if someone doesn't want me in a relationship, I'm not going to settle for anything. Yeah. And I know sometimes it gets lonely and you're thinking like,
I should just go back to
maybe I should go to that guy that, you know, at least he does this and this and this. No.
9 p.m. at night.
Don't. There'll always be someone that you even least expect. And we need to put ourselves in that mindset to say, okay, you are going to attract who you become. But first you have to work on yourself. Exactly. The love you give to yourself. Yeah. you can't give from an empty cup.
Yeah.
You can't attract love that is with ease if you don't give that to yourself first. You have to fall in love with self for you to give to another person, for you to attract such kind of people. But then again, the
thing is that people usually end up just trivializing it into finances and money. They think that it's always about money. Women want men with money. But like, I've been in relationships, I've been in situations, and I know I've got a lot of friends who've been in situations where they are with men who are actually not as well-to-do. But sometimes also in the relationship, it's the man's own inferiority complex that comes and bites them in the backside, because then they'll be saying, oh, just because you have money.
And that's it. And you know, some women are actually married to their own worst enemies.
Bruh!
They don't want them to do better.
Yes, exactly.
Because they know when... One thing that my aunt, rest her soul, that woman was the best. She said one thing. She said, when you have your own money, a man will know his limits.
Exactly.
A man will know his boundaries because he knows he can't have the control over you when it comes to... He knows you can leave.
When you want.
You can leave, you can start over.
Yeah.
Without him having to say, oh, she can't leave because she doesn't have the money. No.
Where will you go?
My aunt had everything.
Yeah.
And this is something, like, she had everything down from the house, car, everybody.
Yeah.
A man comes in, he didn't have nothing.
Yeah.
And she had the choice to either stay or leave, not because of the money, no.
Yeah.
Because, baby, she had that money and he respected her to a point where he didn't take her and use money as an example. Oh, she can't go anywhere because of the Bimber. And we see many of these stories on social media when these married groups and whatnot say, I can't live because I don't have anything. I don't have a job. What am I going to do with the children?
Hey, where will I go?
And why are women in 2023?
Year of our Lord 2023.
You're not doing anything.
Why? First of all, it's not even about... I respect people who might be in relationships that are comfortable, first of all. But I just believe that comfortability is not stability to an extent, because anything can happen. And because if you're living a high lifestyle and your man is the only one doing the job, if anything happened to that man, God forbid, you are coming back down to us.
Exactly.
And that is more painful. That would even take you to an early grave. And I feel like what you're saying is absolutely right, because at the end of the day, you find that they'll be like, I have nothing. What do you mean you have nothing? You have all this going on. Have nothing. They don't have anything, but they're in a marriage. Like, there is no equal partnership. There's no union. There's no communication. So they settled. Yeah, they did settle. Yeah, that is.
See? So now, when as a single person, you're like, ma'am,
that house is made of glass. We can all see through it, and we're like, are these the ideologies?
I'm not good with Bimber. I'm Bimber, but I'm rubbish.
Yo.
But yeah, you literally it's glamorized from the outside.
Yeah.
And everything that's happening, it's a lot going on in these homes. And you know, sometimes it's like, but is this story for real? Is it true? Like, you know, rich reaction when you think that someone is lying.
Even me, like, I share stories, will be like, this story is no, it's not a lie.
It's not.
There are people who live in a 5-bedroom house, haven't eaten since 2 days ago. Like, bro, you're going up and down the stairs hungry. Chome, you need to eat.
Okay, you go.
What?
You go.
Wait, what? Up and down. She goes up the stairs and comes back down.
And you still have to climb someone. When they come back, ma'am.
This life is not fair on women.
It's not.
It's not fair on women. Shame.
Because they say at the end of the day, it's the man that marries.
It's the man that chooses.
Because he's the one that chooses. Because I can't go down on one knee and say, nigga, would you marry? I'd rather just sit. That's never.
I don't know what my thoughts are on that. I feel like if you found somebody and it's right, I feel personally that I would ask a person, but if we're at the right, like we're doing things the right way, like we're at par.
You know why I wouldn't want to do that? Because in as much as, yes, you find a good man and whatnot, but they use that shit against you at some point.
After all, you were begging. Girl.
You paid for your own salam.
Girl. Have you heard those stories of women paying for their own salamu? Unazimvela hapo story yo.
Bruh, I've seen
they're paying for their own
Girl,
salamu.
I know a lot.
Like they'll be even I don't want to mention names.
Exactly.
But like this girl Matilda. I'm joking. No, I don't like. I don't know. I feel like those are the girls who succumb to the pressure that is like we're all these singles, we're all in this chima.
And then you find that the ones in our age range.
Exactly. We're in that boiling pressure cooker where like you even ask yourself, me, I'll never get into a white dress, me. Me, I'll never have a chilangamlilo, me. And then you meet John Soliwali. And then he's there again.
Roasting.
It's my mom who taught me that word, by the way.
Diana.
I'm not roasting anybody. But you meet John. Like, how many of our friends our age are you seeing that it's giving Mario? Those are that are marrying Marios now. You know what I'm talking about.
Bruh.
It's not that these Marios love them right. It's that these Marios are available to tell them the right thing that they wish to hear and that they want to build on. Like...
But I think it gets tiresome taking care of someone because as a woman, you're not meant to do that.
You know that there's some people, I'm sorry, I think I've been very, very light. But there are some men who, even if you give them 20... I've been light. There are some men who you give them 20,000 kwacha. They still will not build something out of it. But then there are also some men who have got that potential to grow. Me, shame, I look at men. I even see my friends in relationship. I'm like, no, listen, I'm not even hating. I'm not even throwing shade.
No.
But I see some women who are with men who I can even be like, shame, this guy, he's just a product of his environment.
Yeah.
He's never been introduced the right people or the right circles.
Yeah.
He's come from a background of poverty.
Yeah.
And he's here trying to make something of himself. All he needs is 10,000 kwacha and the right woman to guide him, and he'll be there.
Yeah.
But then there are people who I know also in my circles who've gone Kufia Law, they've gone to study in Canada, and what they come back with? They come back with goners. I'm gonna call you tomorrow. I'm gonna check up on you. I'm gonna give you something to eat. I'm gonna make sure you have a good time. That's all they bring to the table. I'm a goner. They come back with goners, and then because they speak and act a certain way, they are the ones that society would want to edge us on. But those are the ones who can't even handle a budget. You know?
That's why, again, go back to the topic of finances. It's important.
It is. There are women who also send me messages saying that, me, I'm married to a man. You give him small money, he goes to drink.
Lloyd.
Small money, he goes to bed. Small money, he does everything. The children, she's paying school fees.
I've seen people who've gambled, like, bet their wives.
Like,
or their homes.
Can you imagine the pain you have to go through to then knew for that man that his supper is ready?
What are you needing for?
Whose supper?
Who's the head?
Whose food?
Your food.
You see what I mean? Like, it's so unfair for these women. No, like, technically it's their food. But like, I'm not even calling out men who are poor. I'm calling men who are responsible. Men who do not have the audacity to treat their women with respect. Because these women are breaking their backs to make sure that your poverty does not stink in public.
And to a point where when you go out, she gives you your card because she doesn't want you
to be. My dear friend who would call me at, baby, why are you?
Well, I've done
bring
that before.
My card.
I
bring my card. You guys be giving your boyfriends your
cards.
That before. You, baby, here's...
Bruh,
they would call me also to send me
I gave him my phone, and that time was the one who had the 5 women. That time I was using a Windows, like when Paja Windows in a Bakat Paja Windows phone. I bought that phone from my aunt.
Yeah.
It was a Windows, I've forgotten Windows something. I gave that to my boyfriend, and you know what I was using? Those two small phones.
So he looks good in public, huh?
And then I got another phone.
And
then he didn't know that I got another phone. So me, I wanted to make a surprise on WhatsApp. Bebe, profile picture was a child.
Who's?
And he's first.
Your child?
His. And the child that I didn't even know about. And I asked this thing, I'm like, baby, who's... You know, he left me on scene the whole day and answered me around 18.
On your phone?
He wanted on my phone.
On your phone?
On my Windows phone.
On your Windows phone. Those tomato fat bodies.
On my Windows phone.
Loading.
That man.
You've been through it, Assisi.
Bruh,
been
that's not
through
even
it.
half of it.
What?
I'll
There's
write a
more
book
than
one
that. You need to write a book because that sounds traumatic.
Bruh.
No, me like I think for me it was.
And then the baby mama was also on my... That was another story. She got my number from his phone and then started insulting me, calling me.
Why?
And the fun fact, she got married to someone else.
I'm not the same guy
Nope.
she was
And they have,
insulting
like,
you over.
2, 3 kids together, I think. No, she got married to someone else.
Me or my relationship woes and problems are just usually poverty based. Like I don't have any.
For me, it's a compilation.
Dramas.
It's a combination of
Poverty, overcompensating, trying too hard for a man, working your butt out for a man,
being a traditional Zambian
being a
woman.
traditionalist, eh?
I can't anymore.
Making a mateveto for a man who doesn't even
I
have
bought
matching.
bows.
He doesn't even have matching glasses in his house.
I bought bushmeat here, 200
Why did you
kwacha.
buy bushmeat for 200?
He wanted bushmeat.
Does even need bushmeat in his house? My cravings. It's giving poverty.
I think even his girlfriends ate that bushmeat.
Melt cook for
And
melt.
then he told me, leave the lunch boxes. These are mine now. Bruh, I know you're gonna watch this.
So girl, you lost a man. You lost a man
Lunch
and
boxes.
Tupperware.
I know you watch this, and yes, I am telling. At least I didn't even put your name there.
You lost
Well,
a
I used to
man and
mention
a
him
good
once upon a time
lunchbox.
on Facebook when I'm mad.
You lost a man and a good lunchbox.
I used to mention his name
I
on
can't do
Facebook.
this anymore.
I used to mention him and say, you on Facebook. And then he got
Me?
pissed because now girls were sending him friend requests.
Me, I will never, ever, ever mention that I'm with a guy online and even share photos in the streets of Lusaka.
Bruh,
Guys.
you know, I think...
Wait. May have been humbled in private. I've been humbled in private.
but even
Imagine
still.
being humbled in public.
I think those days, like for me, we never had social media. So I think it wouldn't get there.
Uh-huh.
And I don't think I even ever posted that guy ever on social media because he wanted to be private. But
Did he
not
want to be
knowing-
private?
Yeah, he wanted us to be a secret because he was dating other people. If you see this guy,
The
Stu,
audacity on a
Stu,
boat.
a
Was he
god.
even worth it?
a god.
He looked like a
literal-
god. Wait, is it that colored guy? That light-skinned guy?
Which one?
I don't know.
Which one?
I don't know.
My man's is light skin. No, not him.
Not this one.
No, that one. My man is not colored. He's just light skin and got hazel eyes. But yeah. A very Bimber man, by the way.
But you know they're white Bimber, so...
No, he's not. Or maybe his great grandparents or some white genes
Product of
somewhere there.
colonialism
But yeah,
somewhere there.
He's half of the
Yeah.
people think he's colored. He's not. But this was another one. Like when you see this guy, like at least study.
Me, I know women who have gone into marriages, a whole marriage,
Bruh.
and come out without people knowing their husband. And divorce.
I'm not gonna. And then I have friends that are married, like very married, even with their first, second children, but they haven't posted shit on social
They don't
media.
post.
And I think these days I wouldn't do that because I feel like people get entitled when you post your relationship on social
It becomes
media.
our relationship, of course. It becomes our relationship. Yeah.
It becomes everyone else's relationship and they feel an entitlement and some even disrespect.
Yeah.
We have seen these bloggers. I won't mention names because we don't
please.
want to mention
We
anything
can't,
here.
Ma can fight.
Yeah, so I can fight. But still, because they put the everything that they were doing in that relationship and they put it out there, so people feel like they have the entitlement to say whatever. That even us, we even go there and say shit. I post about stuff. My unpopular opinions. But would I put my relationship on social? Maybe you'd see 1 or 2 pictures just for the sake of, but like that, like being like social media relationship, I ain't doing it.
Me, I just don't know. I'm just at the age where I'm like, I don't want.
And I just want certain things for myself.
Yeah?
Because there are certain aspects of my life that I just don't want to be there. And I think a lot of people, I'm a popular loner.
Yeah.
And people think that they know me.
Yeah. They only know things that you want them to see. And that's what I also tell people. You think you know me, but I actually I get a sieve. I sieve it out for you because you don't know what's deep.
No, she's posting on Z Feminist, she's posting this, she likes this and that. She talks about sex, she talks about
Many people don't know me. They don't know me.
That's the thing.
That's the thing. Like,
I don't think there's anyone who'd come and say, I've seen Stumbeko with a man and this is the man that she's...
beans.
Exactly.
Oh, they wanted to get controversial.
Stop.
But that's one of the things. But you find that at the end of the day, everybody thinks, they know you. Oh, they do what?
Because they feel like they think that they know you, but there's so many layers.
There's
so many layers to someone, and I know a lot of women. I'm not gonna say men. I'm gonna say women. They don't like me because I speak about things that they don't have the courage to talk about.
Yeah,
and they feel like some of them feel like I speak about things that I shouldn't speak about because their men get intrigued. It's not my problem.
Especially when it comes to conversations about sex and sexuality. And then like for me, when you notice people like especially married women commenting like, I did know this. And you're like,
Trust me, half of the people that come in my inbox, bruh.
Married? They want the toys? No, wait. Now we're talking about these sex toys. Wait. Why are you sipping like that? Because I'm a sip too. Do they want their toys for self-pleasure because they're not satisfied, or they want the toys because their partners are not doing the right thing?
Because they're not doing the right thing.
Ooh, that's a painful one.
Let me tell you, there are a few women, obviously because I'm running the aphrodisiac business, right? Mm-hmm. So this is another section. I've always spoken about sex. I've always been vocal about that. But now having this business, so it's a different type of topic that I have to talk with these women. And some of them have never even had an orgasm before. And it's so sad because someone who's 35 years old doesn't even know how an orgasm feels like.
Yeah.
Because the only thing that they were taught was to pleasure a man. But then their man is the one that's going out there looking for someone who's into BDSM.
Two Nut Nicholas. 2 second Nut Nicholas. You're horrible. One shot. It doesn't even.
I think some of them, those children aren't even their children. Let's not even go there. And the thing is that married women are worried about single ladies. They should be worried about their fellow married women.
Exactly.
Because these are the people that they have always gone out with each other and they trust each other because they're married. So there's no suspicion.
There's no one publicizing it.
They say, oh no, when you get married, you stop chilling with your single friends.
No, don't chill with Wamake Memo. Wamake Memo.
Be suspicious of Wamake Johnny.
Wamake Memo. No, these days it's Sue's mom.
Man.
Yo. Exactly, because even these relationships with like married men after you, like singles have nothing to lose. So it's actually, for them, it's more problematic to be with someone who has nothing to lose as compared to someone who has everything to lose.
Yeah.
So everything to lose is the safer option.
Yeah.
Because they will
never spill the beans.
They will never. Now, me, when I'm drunk somewhere in the ghetto, I'll be like, hey, by the way, that one.
Yeah, and when it comes to the thing of why a lot of women are not married like these days, like I think we are different from our grandparents, from our parents.
Yeah.
And tell me, half of the women that are not married, like their partners died.
Yeah.
They've stayed 10, 15 years, 20 years without getting remarried. Why? If marriage was so good, why didn't they remarry?
Why do they want us to go back into it? Do they want us to get married for procreational?
I think that's it.
Efforts or love? Because I feel like...
I think it's a moral aspect. Say you can't have a bastard child.
No, I think also back in the day we're being taught that marriage was there for procreation, right? We're supposed to get married.
Financial
security for women especially.
Yeah.
So, and also...
that's where labia malo. Elongation.
Labia machani.
Elongation.
You said labia malopia. I made a new word today.
I want to hear that.
Labianate.
Flying with the wings.
But like no, like we need to start concluding. But one of the things that I've noticed is that women these days are refusing to settle. I feel that we have been ostracized and made to look like we are bitter and we're unhappy just because we have not settled for what the world is offering.
We just now know that happiness is just not tied to a man or a marriage.
Yeah, and happiness and marriage should not define us as individuals, that we're still
Amen.
whole, we're still happy,
Preach.
we're still getting accomplished. Somebody told me the other day that I shouldn't start building my house because what will I bring in a marriage? Not him. I'm friend renting. I swear.
My aunt had a house,
Pale
a car, everybody. She went that with all that shit in a marriage. A second. Second.
Like, why should a man who would be interested in me be afraid of anything that I have and anything that I own? And it's
Because
like,
I think it's the one that should actually even push you further.
we shouldn't actually. I feel like if I was a man, I'd be offended that the thing so lowly of men that they are expected to be these jerks, when the truth of the matter is that they are not even jerks, but they're also products of their society.
I think also how men are raised. Because I feel a woman is, what's the word? Is prepared.
Yeah.
For the world, for marriage at a very young age, and men are not.
Yeah, I think we need to do more of that.
And men are not. And that's, a man shouldn't cry, then it's weakness. No, it's not. When you sit in your feelings, you feel your feelings, that's strength.
Yeah. Okay. I am enjoying this conversation.
Yeah, we gotta wind up.
To wind up, I'm going to read a quote that I found today that I think was just amazing. And the quote is, "Girls don't mature faster than boys. Girls are punished from an early age for the same behavior that boys are allowed to indulge in well into adulthood."
Yes, ma'am.
We don't mature. Even now, you find somebody my age, then they'll be like, he's still young. But me, they'll be like, this one, put at the back of the fridge. This one is stale cheese. This one is stale, So, I feel like these are very interesting conversations to have.
Yeah.
And I just feel that we need to have these conversations as women, like honest conversations. And if you feel you have anything to add to this conversation, do not feel afraid to reach out to us. Send me a message, send me a DM. It's your girl. I got you. I am the non-judging breakfast club. But we will judge you, girl, if you go back to that man for the third time. But we do got you. So, I think
it was good though.
We've talked about a lot, right?
Yeah, and just for me to summarize, especially like for the people that raising boys.
Yeah.
Raising boys, and for those that have younger brothers, nephews and whatnot. Where I come from, everyone is treated the same in the house. Whether you're a boy or a girl, you do chores, you do everything. Because we believe a woman or a girl, not even a woman, a girl shouldn't be subjected to take care, to be groomed to take care of a home at a very young age. No. And that's why we have a lot of broken men, broken people in society walking around. Hurt people.
Hurt people.
And the other thing, therapy, especially for the men.
Yeah.
Please, if you feel like you need to cry, cry.
Yeah.
You see, that's why women get over shit quickly, because we feel, we cry.
Yeah.
And men don't do that.
Okay.
And that's not okay. Let your child sit in their feelings. If they feel something, let them express themselves.
Yeah.
And these days, the world is not safe either for a boy child or a girl child. They say, oh no, a girl child can be abused and whatnot. No, think about the boy child as well. Because we've neglected, I think, especially when it comes to women, we've neglected the boy child to focus on the girl child. And I can't, we don't have a lot of male figures in my family. So it's up to me and everyone else to nurture and to teach those boys.
Yeah.
And I want a man that is going to treat another woman in society better than the men that I have been with in the past. And it ties a lot to tradition. And truthfully speaking, if there was a way I could do away with that tradition and trash it.
Hey, okay, we're ready for my conclusion. For me, what I'm going to say is that getting older is scary. And when you're getting older and you have health complications, it's scarier.
Oh, gynecologist.
Because it's going to make sure your health complications are going to impact how you're going to associate with the world. And one of the things that I want people to feel, especially women my age, is that we should not be afraid. We should not let the world bully us into feeling like we're lonely, we're sad. You know, there's so many things that you can do with yourself, and there's so many things that can bring fulfillment with you. If you haven't found the right person, do not settle. I feel like there's going to be somebody for you. It can come when you're 25, it can come when you're 35, it can come when you're 45. Girl, it can come when you're about to get your groove back on at 55. It should not ever make you feel like you are inadequate, you're not important, and your voice does not matter. Let us break this stereotype and these negative connotations that have been spelt on us, making us feel like we are inadequate in our spaces, because our voices as Black women matter, and our experiences as Zambian women who are going through the most also matter. So at the end of the day, you might be alone, girl, but you are not lonely. And that's it for this podcast. Until the next one, we got you.
See a gynecologist as well often.
Yes, and
please.
go see your gynecologist, please. And don't say you're pregnant when you haven't been dodgy.
See a guy on a regular. This was fun.